You know, we have a party leader for Allied Movement for Change, Munzoor Shaik Emam. And you know, the one thing is that whenever I hear him, it's only about politics, statistics, numbers, what's happening, legislation, and all of that, Shaik Emam. For once, I don't want to hear about all of those things. I just want to know, who is Shaik Emam? Tell me about yourself.
Well, I come from a family of very committed and dedicated humanitarians. And that is why I always say that we are the servants of the people. My uncles, my father himself, my brother, all of them have been involved in community work. And our extended family is still very much involved in community work. I was a member of the Action Committee to Stop Evictions, member of the UDF, chairperson of Crisis Care Line, chairperson of the Durban Girls Secondary School. I've been the chairperson of the SADC Parliamentary Forum on the Human Social Development and Special Programs Committee. So I've been in touch with the people on the ground and know and understand the kind of life our people live. Very importantly, I used to represent my school in debates and speech contests. Some of the issues that affect our community today are issues that my teacher, and that was responsible for my speech contest and debates, picked up 50, 60 years ago. Things like, I remember my one topic being water is life. Another topic was education. One of the three, reading is one of the 3 R's, which forms the basis of an educational system. These are important things that the teachers in the 70s picked up and identified the importance of a thing like water. And yet, in the year 2024, we have a crisis. But he had the foresight in 1970 and put so much of importance to water. Reading. If you read the latest statistics, children as grade 8 can't read for meaning. But there is a teacher who put emphasis on this in the 1970s.
I believe that I understand people through understanding their parents and understanding them. You sometimes very clinical, so people don't always know. But I just want to reflect on your parents. What type of people were they? And today, you being a party leader, what would your mom be saying?
You can have everything in the world and no mother, you have nothing. You can have nothing in the world and you have a mother, you have got everything. And I think that should answer the question. But very importantly, my father was a disciplinarian. He was a businessman. I was his pet. I went everywhere with him. I insisted I go everywhere with him. And that is why the kind of life I lead now is that way of life I picked up from him, serving communities, serving people. I used to attend with him to some of the functions, some of the meetings that he used to. Well, I was a little fellow, but yes. But I can tell you, the role of parents in the life of a child is so important to such an extent. I am the only one that has been raising this again and again. It is not acceptable that 78% of children don't have a father at home. All I am saying is this: if you want a child to grow up and make a difference in society, that child must have both parents. Even if they can't live together, they must ensure that the role of fathers and mothers must not be sacrificed. So my father, I can tell you, would be very proud of me. My mother would have been very proud of me. And so is many of my family members up to this very day. But I can say one thing to you. I'm yet to find someone that would have cooked my food up to this very day, no matter how much you pay to them, the way my mother cooked it. I can say to you now, with the best housekeepers that I've employed, nobody up to this day can iron my pants, my trunk, like my mother did, which will never have a double lining. But the important thing is this: my mother never went to school. My father, of course, was very influential in the community. He was a councillor in the southern Durban region many years ago. But he was a very dedicated and committed person when it came to the community. The way we grew up, if a neighbor had no food, it means we had no food. If a neighbor had a problem, we had a problem. If somebody died, we didn't wait the next day to go to the funeral. We got up the same, whether it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night, we went there. That is the relationship we've had. We will eat in each other's houses. So, but by virtue of my father being a disciplinarian, we couldn't go wrong. And I'm going to give you one ideal example. I one day was walking home from school with my schoolmates. Coincidentally, one of those schoolmates defended me and got a hiding from the principal because he defended me when somebody tried to interfere with me. But when we were walking on that road, my mother came looking for me. I think she came to do a check, an oversight visit. And she found me with my schoolmate and she threw a tantrum, embarrassed me in front of them all. Because one of the boys she knew used to drink and used to smoke cigarettes. And smoking cigarettes was a major thing in those days. And I was very upset. She embarrassed me and did everything. But about 3 to 5 years ago, I think about 3 years ago actually, I realized what she meant. Because I went to visit this very same classmate of mine. And I thought, let me go and see where he is. And I went there. And when I saw the condition in which he was in the servants' quarters, on the floor, totally drunk out of his mind. And it took me back to, had my mother not intervened, that where I might have been if I continued that friendship and that relationship with those that were already showing signs, many, many years ago. So you can see the role. And I always say, parents want the best for their children. We may not see it that way sometimes, but they know they want what is best for their children. And that is why I say, even at school, the day you stop disciplining your child at 5 years, you will pay the ultimate price for it when that child is 15 years old.
Sometimes you get these big political leaders. Shaik Emam is a party leader now, but it boils down again to the values of the parents and the mother again. And I always say, it starts with the mother and it ends with the mother.